of the morning broadcast started today upon TV.
You're welcome once again to Panorama. Do not forget that this program Panorama is segmented into two. The first being the issue of the day, which is where we are right now, where we touch on the updates on the petroleum industry bill. Quite a very lengthy discussion that we're set to have this morning, which is going to run from now till about 9 a.m. or 5 minutes to 9 a.m. And after which comes from the page, from the pages, which is where we take you through daily stories that have made headlines in our newspapers this morning. Do not forget, you can connect with us live on Facebook. We are live right now as we speak at Splash FM 1067, as well as WhatsApp. You can drop your comments there as well. You can drop your comments on the live video feed, the comment section of the live video Facebook feed, and also on our WhatsApp number 0817 555 1067. All right, we proceed now to the issue of the day. The Nigerian Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, which has been 20 years in making when passed, and fiscal framework for the Nigerian petroleum industry, as well as the development of host communities.
The bill also seeks to ensure that transparency is achieved in the administration of the petroleum sector, and Nigerian content is promoted through an efficient and effective regulatory framework. As of January 2021, the Senate would break the cycle of failure that has stalked overhaul efforts for 20 years. This morning, we delve into the matter of the petroleum industry bill and all that you need to know. We'll have with us joining us via the telephone line all the way from Lagos, Iniobong Hussein from Budgets. Good morning to you, Iniobong. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Okay. Our deliberate attempts to sabotage it, at least stall for as long as possible. So why drag this bill when it is such a fundamental key thing to the oil and gas sector and by large extent the economy? All right, I said the PIB has dragged on for years and years to the point where some people are pushed to believe that these are deliberate attempts to sabotage it, or at least to stall it for as long as possible. So why drag this bill when it is so fundamental to the oil and gas sector and by a large extent the economy? Mm. All right. Well, the National Assembly goes on recess early July. So that means that if the package is not approved within the next 2 weeks, it cannot become law until September. What are the chances of it being passed in the next 2 weeks?
I don't know. I am not sure. That's because there are two very serious issues in the bill as I'm doing the public hearing. Lots of issues, issues from company, issues from and these issues have not been adequately addressed.
Mm.
It's very difficult for the bill to pass because there are a lot of problems and I do not feel like adequate opportunity was given for people to adequately express their concerns.
But this bill has dragged on for, sorry to cut you short, this bill has dragged on for 20 years. What issues could be arising now that haven't arisen in the last 20 years?
If you look at the way community implemented the bill that to transfer equitable benefits to members of extraction affected communities, international services, that
Mm.
you have issues around ownership, you have issues around environmental social protection. So this particular bill set up a trust fund for
Okay.
2.5% of the operating expenditures of the oil company as opposed to
But they're asking for 10% now. They want it increased to 10%.
still have given power to the company set up the management board of the trust
Okay.
without the adequate time to the community. So if they are setting up the trust for community and the management structure is supposed to be set up by the company. How are the community sure that their interest is invested in this particular bill?
Mm.
And have it in mind that this particular trust are supposed to exist beyond the lifetime of this company.
Yeah.
So when this company, has up and gone, and there's a running cost, and there's law in the state that says that the company don't want to be empowered or subject to setting up all of that.
Mm.
What happens in such a situation? You are just setting up young people for conflict in the future. That's one thing. Another issue that has come up with this bill is the salvation of assets. So the bill has also taken the possibility of offline protection of oil pipeline assets,
Mm.
oil assets generally in community. So we have not entrusted community the power of the might to protect themselves. You have issued pipeline protection contracts, and you have the Navy that is starting with, protecting the literal integrity of Nigeria.
Mm.
And you are saying that food community is less liable for sabotage of oil and gas assets. I think we can logical because at the end of the day, their cutlasses that they use in the farm or their cleaning to get oil and gas facilities. And the bill is saying that whatever cost that those families are subtracted from whatever is going to accrue to the trust. And we know that the rate of sabotage that goes on in the industry is way beyond what the community suffers can do. There has been
Mm.
That's what you said something else. Why are you trying to hold and you keep your mouth?
Mm.
The other issue is the gas bill. Nigeria signed up the Paris Climate Agreement for September, and we are supposed to contribute to reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. But these are without limitation. You have the technical capacity and the regulator to utilize what I am not able to utilize domestically as a group. And still on this gas bill, you have a fiscal framework that says that whatever penalty that has charged companies for clearing that goes to the emission account that is now shared among federal government, just like the other things that are emission account. But the guys that are bearing the brunt of gas flaring are located very close to the site. So all of these things are huge contention in the bill. And also the bill also doesn't acknowledge the fact that we are actually in an emission chamber. The world is trying to translate the way we think
Exactly.
Capital investment in oil and gas and exploitation, climbing faster than expected.
So how do we realign the existing forces with the current realities, as it were? Isn't the passage of bill a little bit too late, going by what you just said?
A lot of the positions of the bill have been explored, and you now have companies trying to diversify their interests. Because it's very difficult for you to access capital to develop new oil and gas fields. A lot of these portfolio managers are diversifying away from putting wealth in renewable energy. So Nigeria is running out of time for development of this. And it would be interesting to know that there are huge environmental and social costs that are drawn from the exploration of oil. And that is supposed to form preparation for the future. So in this particular bill also, there's supposed to be a provision for the commissioning and accounting of flood wells. So usually when you are done with production in a particular field, those wells that were drilled are supposed to be flood, because a lot of those wells are high pressure wells. But if you go to the Niger Delta, there are a lot of bad abandoned wells. So the wells, the company that up and gone, but you still see oil coming out of these wells. Quite a quantity. And all of these things have huge environmental impacts on the environment. And they pose up potential threat, both for the immediate community and for the country at large. And you have this view that although setting up an abandoning and decommissioning fund, but leaves that to the whims and caprices of the company. They just tell you set up the fund, let's go to minimize the maybe you need to abandon the problem where you can use it for that. But we all know that it shouldn't be that way. There should be a regulator that sets up a fund, mandate that put in some fraction of your operating cost in that fund, and be responsible for managing that fund. Not leaving it to the companies to manage. You know, if the companies have alternative use of those funds, there's nothing binding them from using those funds. Companies now even pack up and leave, or some cases of become transfer. What happens to those funds? And
you've said quite a lot so far. There too, several countries of the world are trying to go green by using clean and renewable energy to power several things, vehicles, equipment, and all of that. And this president of the Senate, and that's Ahmed Lawan, made reference to the fact that the bill, when passed into law, guarantees improved revenue earnings for the country. My question in that regard is this: if the rest of the world or advanced countries of the world are trying to go green,
all price skyrocketing, then everybody folds their hands and wait for the oil revenue to come in and sweat. That has been the vicious cycle we are in. Conversations come up when prices go down. And when prices are back up, it's back to the status quo. The NNPC just sits and in April, it was on the news that NNPC didn't come on the protection account.
right?
And all of the revenue generated by the NNPC was used for subsidy to the children. You cannot continue to have an agency that decides what to make sense and decide to withhold whatever amount it generates on the protection account when over 60% of Nigeria's revenue comes from the oil and gas industry.
Okay, let's even get something. Okay, go on, please. Go on.
No.
Okay. Let's get something straight. Are you a proponent and advocate of the bill? Let's even start with that.
I am. It's all of the issues that but we only measure what we produce at the export center. So between the wellhead and the field before it gets to the export center, a lot of activities in terms of cost,
Whatever. Cool.
wellhead was coming out of the first. At the field level where the celebrating different wellhead and going down and getting to the export center.
+555 1067 on Facebook at Splash FM 1067 is what you should input into your search bar, and to take you straight to our page, and you can see the live video feed that is there right about now, and drop your comments on that particular bill. I want to ask you a question before Odera asks the next question, and that is on the issue of subsidy. Does the bill make any provision? And people have talked about how, well, the government has come back and forth several times about how they removed subsidy, and then you find out that it was actually still there, they still provide it in some sort of way and all of that. Does the bill make any provision whatsoever for subsidy?
No, so subsidy is actually more of a issue. Right? This thing is just right? So, subsidy is a finance issue. The revenue that we get from the bill, how the industry
Okay, well, all right. So, well, a few weeks ago, there was a report by the Financial Derivatives Company Limited that about $15 billion in investments were lost annually to the delayed passage of the PIB before the National Assembly. Now, you say you're in support of this bill, but at this point, what should be the thrust of the bill?
At this point, the bill should be looking at that the thing is,
Do we?
so I would feel that
Okay.
Profit Tax Act for allowable expenses to be wholly, exclusively, and necessarily incurred to be tax deductible. The bill proposes the introduction of a reasonability test for the purpose of determining adjustable profit. How does this profit now work if this bill is supposed to be passed? And how has
All right.
the amount the average Nigerian will buy petrol and the other different derivatives from petroleum exploration?
okay, so you are not refined 1 barrel
In the past 1 year,
and you have 1 year, 1 barrel of fuel, meaning that the whole refinery has not worked the past year. And every year they have to focus
but there have been several talks about modular refineries. I think there was supposed to be one set up in Imo State and all of that. I thought all of those were functional to some degree.
I checked the NSC. The last step, the last thing that they implemented is by fine. That was the last thing I said. I'm not expecting it. So 100% of what and you have a very unstable policy very short. Expect that. So without increasing our always and there have been talks around privatizing because and we did. We are not able to maximize utilization of people. But finally, if these refineries were existing as private, I'm not sure that they would have still been we did. And I do not see any part of the field as correcting and this outlet privatized. So in answering your question, there's no provision of this field that privatization of refineries which we know will be affected by the driving increase our refining capacity and means that correct import
So to put it in clear terms now, you're saying that the bill has no effect whatsoever on the price of petroleum products. Okay. Let's open the phone line and allow you to be a part of the conversation. Any question you have so far or any concern that you have as regards the petroleum industry bill and all of the updates you've heard so far, feel free to call us and be a part of the conversation. The numbers to call are 0817-444-1067, 0704-400-1067, and 0817-555-1067. I did mention before that we're live on Facebook. You could head straight there and drop your comment if you so wish.
Thank you very much. We can only thank your guest for going through all that we need to know about the topic we are discussing this morning. What I just want to say is that for this country, I truly wonder when we'll get serious at doing things. When it is a court case in other crimes that should naturally take 7 years, take 10 years. Can you imagine that? This that started in 1999. How many good amendments have they been able to debate in the 1999 Constitution? Not done, but they are very fast at investing our resources. I thank you again. Would have been done well. Maybe they will not bring it on stream when this fossil fuel is irrelevant. To the UK, to London last week, only a few petrol stations are selling fuel. You see vehicles queuing at charging points. Electric. May God help us in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning. Good morning to you, Abeokuta.
Good morning, brother. People are interested in particular clause that must be inserted somewhere along the line. We've been on this program industrial bill for like 20 years now. We have different people at different times at the
08174441067, just to mention Splash FM 1067. But we apologize, okay, we had some connection issues, so do well to call us back if you will.
All right, while we're waiting for the calls, all right, one.
Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank that this is calling.
All right,
Alright.
so just raining.
We should be grateful to this National Assembly. At least I think they said they will pass the bill ending of this June.
Right.
I should be grateful to Muhammad Buhari for introducing the bill to this nice assembly. For over 20 years, I think till the year 2000, how many House of Assembly have we had? They've been looking at the bill because it doesn't favor them.
Did you mean to say National Assembly? Because I keep saying House of Assembly.
I said, how many National Assembly have we had before this night's assembly? They've been looking at the bill, or the time they called it petroleum bill. They split it into like 4 different bills. During time of the start, it was also passed, but it's lingered. So we should be grateful that at the time it's coming.
All right. Well,
Sorry about that.
has to do with maybe the network this morning. 0704-400-1067 or 0817-444-1067. Do not forget that you can drop your comments on our live video feed as well as our WhatsApp. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Odera.
Yes.
This is Abeokuta calling back.
All right, please go on.
And it won't cut off this time around. Now, I was saying that stops this bill from being passed. Some people somewhere are putting on the table some agenda that will not go down well with other areas. And we continue talking about this thing. See, I'll be surprised if the National Assembly passed the bill before July, that they will be going on recess. Now, even if they make attempts to pass it, quote me today, there are some group of people somewhere waiting for that last minute effort, and they will tell you they are going to court. Just to stop, because some people are benefiting from the arrangement. and we continue having it this way. It's like at times I look at the military arrangement, it's as if they are more organized than this democracy of a thing, where they will tell you that within social time frame they will achieve this and they will achieve that. This is democracy, where everybody can just bring anything to the table, and you must allow him or her to say what he has to say, and thereby buying more time, wasting resources. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Abayomi. 0704 400 1067 or 0817 444 1067. You can comment on the live video on our Facebook page as well as WhatsApp 0817 555 1067. Ini, I would like to ask if you're still, are you still on the line? Okay. Now, does this bill have anything to do with the environmental health of these communities? Let's take, for example, Ogoni in River State. They've had a very serious issue for years with these companies. Will this bill in any way seek to resolve and make proper adjustments for those people in those communities?
Carried out by I know in some of those equipment they have, they are doing this issue around clash of roads between Ostra, the Ministry of Environment, and DPR. So it could be better managed. And once you don't have streamline, sort of streamline mandate for federal government, there is usually a clash of goods and all of that. And that always has an impact on the appropriate. But that said, I know that particular point that we will benefit.
Okay. All right, we can engage more people via the telephone lines in the few minutes that we have before we have to conclude this first part of Panorama. 0817 444 1067.
So at the Kenya, this is calling back.
Go on, brother.
Mr. Odera, you have asked my question. I want to ask about the environmental effects of this special. And again, how does this bill, how will it cater for this oil spillage that we are having? You can see that the difference today, a cost, maybe an cost gave like a 10-point-something billion naira charges to the NPC of Mobile. So people maybe adjust it or acquire them because of the oil spillage and water that destroyed their fish. How will it cater for this? Will we continue to have this oil spillage? Then again, how will this bill cater for the interest of the people? You've talked about the capital that it doesn't affect our prices, the hiking petrol prices, because the cost is because of the landing. That's where we have the issue of what we call subsidy. So how will it affect it? So how will it cater for the interest of the masses? Then about the oil spillage, please have I want to cater for this morning. This morning. Thank you.
I'll answer your questions. Did you hear these questions in your one?
No.
Oh, okay. So it basically asked two questions. The first one being the impact it will have as regards oil spillage. Now, to be specific, we talked about the environmental effect it has, but it was particularly about oil spillage. Then he also mentions Does the bill affect anything as regards pricing of petrol? You also mentioned the issue of subsidy in that regard.
Yes.
Right. Oil spillage?
Oil spillage.
Right.
Actually, the environmental regulation thing, like, it's supposed to, facilitate the investigation and regulation of life. However, like I said earlier, there's a regulatory overlap between what job environment supposed to be national oil situation division is often affect how environmental incidents of environmental situation are addressed. We find cases where oil spills happen and that and for about a month or two, none of these regulations everybody just and this system doesn't happen, especially in cities where you see the sun, because of the commercial scale, and they happen a lot. So you find cases where people think are less affected. And it's a fishing community, and that's supposed to be the society focusing in that particular area. That will tell you, what happens in those areas. A lot of times you just that
I'm hoping you can speed up this line of thought because we have to proceed on a commercial break now. All right. Let's thank you very much for your time so far from Lagos, Hussein. We worked with budgets. Thank you for the enlightenment and all that you provided so far as regards the petroleum industry bill and all that people need to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Eniabong. All right,
so we'll proceed on that.
ìgbàláṣọ ìgbàlẹ̀wò ìgbàkanrè tá bàbá ńlá wá falẹ̀ mọ́ iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ gan-an àwọn àgbẹ̀ abisuyọ lóko bọ̀kùọ̀ tí wọ́n sì ń jèrè rẹpẹtẹ ó ṣuyọ bí òṣùmàrè pẹ̀lú àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ ABR Agro Limited ìgbọ̀ tó fáwọn àgbẹ̀ lórí àwọn ilẹ̀ oko wọn ní ilẹ̀ ní òṣìẹ̀lẹ̀ àti alábàtà 40,000 naira per plot bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni orílẹ̀ ìlúgùn pẹ̀lú àpèsè ọ̀bádà ìdíẹ̀mẹ́ 30,000 naira per plot èyíkéyìí ilẹ̀ àgbẹ̀tẹ̀ bára lọ́dọ̀ wọn ẹ ó jèrè tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ torí pé àwọn kan ti wà láti ra èrè oko yín àti láti bá yín tà á sí òkè òkun bẹ́ẹ̀ sì làwọn tí ó máa fi dáko tẹ́ ẹ máa gbọ́ ọ̀pọ̀ owó lórí ẹ̀ náà wà níkàlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àjọsọ àti ìlànà nọ́mbà 39 NTA Road Ọ̀gbẹ́ Abeokuta 08033706236 08033706236 ogúnjọ́ oṣù keje làǹfààní yóò máa pẹ̀lú ABR Agro Limited ìgbọ̀túndé.
ẹ tẹ́tí sí ìkéde pàtàkì yìí jọ̀wọ́ fojú inú ìyàwòrán bí o ṣe fẹ́ kí ọdún kérésìmesì àti ọdún tuntun ìyẹn New Year ó dùn kú lárinrin tó. ìwọ náà tètè tààrà ṣàṣà wá darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́n ènìyàn tí wọ́n mú ilé iṣẹ́ ABL Merchandise Nigeria Limited bí òpó tí ó ṣe é fẹ̀yìntì fún gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ ṣọdún lọ́nà tí ó dùn tí ó lárinrin. ìwọ sáà ti rí dájú pé òun pẹ̀lú fi ó kéré tán tó ẹ̀ lọ. ABL Merchandise Nigeria Limited wà ní 47 Purple Building Itamori Junction Abeokuta. Telephone number wọn ni 090.
ìgbà tó máa dágó méjìlá òru onílé ọ̀tún onílé òsì wọ́n wá ń pariwo bàbá olówó ẹ̀ sì jẹ́ ká sùn bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan lẹ máa kọ́kọ́ lówó ṣe é rí polówó fowó ráyọnu fowó ráyọnu Mr. Simple èmi ti rí solution to 6 energies ni.
iná ìjọba lọ kò lọ jẹnẹrétọ̀ wà kò sí kò kàn yín pínpín tẹ́ ẹ bá ti wá bá wa sọ àsọyépọ̀ ní June 6 Energies Nigeria Limited tá a sì bá yín ṣe alternative solar inverter power supply tó ń lo agbára oòrùn kẹ́ ẹ wá máa lo iná lọ yàrá yòlò. June 6 Energies Nigeria Limited and Sarudin House Quarry Road Pepsi Abeokuta telephone 0812 926 7722.
lójoojúmọ́ ní iléeṣẹ́ IAS ń fakọyọ. bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa gan ni àṣírí àṣeyọrí rere wa ní gbogbo ìgbà. ọlọ́run àwa ń dúpẹ́ o. àmọ́ rírì ìfẹ́ tó o ní sí wa. torí ìwọ gan ni onídùúró tiwa. ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ IAS. tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ jẹ nínú àǹfààní ẹ̀dínwó títí di ọjọ́ tó gbẹ̀yìn oṣù kẹfà yìí. ilẹ̀ Treasure Garden Máwùkọ́ àti IAS Honey Drop Garden Máwùkọ́. tẹ̀ tí ń rà ní 150,000 naira tẹ́lẹ̀. ẹ máa rà lẹ́dínwó 75,000 naira péré. lórí lantern lórí ìrókò. IAS Garden City opposite Alamala Barracks Randa Abeokuta àti Bolu Love Garden City ọbọdẹ oko extension Náṣípa. tẹ̀ tí ń rà ní 750,000 naira tẹ́lẹ̀. ẹ máa rà báyìí ní 500,000 naira péré.
We educate. That's why we are respected. We inform. That's why we are loved. More music. We are the best.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
All right, we've gone 2 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. You're still tuned to Splash 106.7 FM. This is the Integrity Station, and you're listening to Panorama. Before we proceed to the issue of the day, we had some comments from the pages.
What's happening today?
Yeah, I don't. Let's just. Before we proceed to from the pages, let's read some comments that came in for the issue of the day. This is from Kane D. Gabriel from Abeokuta. Says it is well understandable why it took too long and much delay in passing petroleum bill. This is not unconnected to the level of corruption going on in the sector and the big players that benefit from it. NNPC has been a mafia organization. Don't know how you came about that. I wonder why a company can be a player and regulator in the same industry. Privatization of our petroleum industry will be best at the moment. But the question is, how best can our government handle that? Hope it won't be paddy thing, just like what we witnessed with our power sector. We also have another one. If an important industry like the oil and gas can be shortchanged by deliberately prolonging the passage of the PIB, I wonder how diversification can be possible. Unfortunately, we didn't leave a name, so we cannot say that out. All right, now, proceeding to from the pages, I have with me the Nigerian Tribune.
Here's the Punch newspaper.
All right, headliner, security agents colluding with bandits. That's coming from Gumi. Stops making sweeping allegations. Army replies him. The story can be found on page 13. Anambra, APGA declares Soludo standard bearer. Faction suspends, accuses him of anti-party activities. That's on page 4. On page 3, insecurity, Buhari northern governors meet. ACF to meet Ohanese, Afenifere South leaders over state of the nation. That's also on page 3. Interest rate rise as banks, Naira dealers scramble for funds. That's on page 6. Funding and creation of new tertiary institutions. COVID-19, Sub-Saharan Africa needs $425 billion to recover. That's also on page 6. Family of 10 die after drinking local herb mixture in Kwara. That's on page 29. Gunmen kidnap village head wife in Ibadan, demand 50 million naira ransom. That's on page 28. Cholera killed 289 in 6 months. That's coming from the NCDC on page 5. Leaking roof. 9 billion naira approved for renovation of NAS building not released. That's from the Senate. That's on page 5. Federal government, 36 states and others charged to court over his wife. That's on page 29. There is a picture here. There's a picture here with the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipri Silva, Chairman of Negmar Shipping Investment INC, Mr. Mehmet Pope, and the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, during a courtesy call on Silva at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC Towers in Abuja on Wednesday. And finally, police inspector arrested for selling weapons to criminals in Cross River State. That can be found on page 29. And those are the stories that you can find on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Looking at the Punch now. Will borrow more to build infrastructure, federal government insists. The second rider, Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio rose from 29% to 35%. That is WTO boss. That's, of course, the World Trade Organization. There. And the final rider says funds spent on debt servicing by government worrisome, say experts. We also have this as well. Press Council bill terribly draconian, worse than Decree 4. This is coming from ex-Governor Shoba. A writer to the story says lawyers attack bill, say amendment poorly conceived. Details of that on pages 3 and 27. Petrol smuggling persists. 102 million liters consumed in May. That is coming from the NNPC. I did see something on the screen some few moments ago about that 42 million liters is being smuggled per day. All right, you find that on page 17. We have this as well. Gumi alleges collusion as 200 killed in Zamfara despite Buhari's no-fly zone. A writer to the story says clerics allegation attempt to undermine troops, denigrate military. That's coming from the Nigerian army. As a matter of fact, I did see on the screen as well that Gumi was alleging that the military has been colliding with the bandits in that particular region. We also have this as well. Soldiers engage policemen in brawl to free detained colleague. Find that on page 11. 2 arrested for supplying herbal drink that killed 10 Kwara family members. I know you took this as well from the paper you read. You find that on page 5. Soludo emerges APGA governorship candidate. Faction suspends ex-CBN helmsman. You find that on page 13. Adamant minister stops F5's son. You find that on page 11 as well. Also, there's one dead vehicles vandalized. Officials rearrange over 4 billion naira for tours not performed. You find that one on page 26. There's a picture here on the front page of the Punch that's, well, maybe depicts some of the sad incidents that happened in Ethiopia. Scenes from the alleged airstrike on a market by Ethiopian forces in their battle against the Tigray separatists in Mekele. That was yesterday. I'm sure you must have heard about the news of the airstrike in faraway Ethiopia. And those are the stories on the front.
Members of the same family have been reported of Kwara State. Now, it was gathered that the herb was a deliberate act by those people.
Remains to be seen, really, in that regard. But that's...
Oh, okay. Well, I guess maybe also in this regard, it's kind of, they've always me. I know there's a whole lot of people that have been like, you don't know what is put in these mixtures that you're taking, and you know when they see that is something that is frequent. These are not people that particularly have life that the Nigerian police has taken up already.
I should mention that some time ago, well, by way of experience now, there's a certain, my secondary school mate, I mean, we've all left, I mean, gone on to several areas and endeavors of life now. Some of them are now medical doctors, and one of them had to raise a red flag and say, all of these having to consume this portion and that one, it does this, does that, there could be, okay, I'm being very careful with my words now, some sort of aftermath. It might not be immediate, long-term effects.
Oh, no, no, it's not there could be. There is. If you look at most of these old people that have taken, I'm talking about people that take this all the time. You know, I don't want to be segregatory, but maybe say drivers, you know, people at the parks and all that, garages, and they take this all the time. Eventually, at some point, it's a system, but not things that you are not sure of what has been concocted in it. No matter how well they tell you it, of course, it's going to help. Your tummy is going to run, it's going to rumble, and you're going to think, you might think you're cleansing your system, but you might actually be doing damage. So there really is a very large downside to taking things that you are not. We're not saying that herbs don't work, but when you're not sure of the contents,
you're not sure of the source.
Yeah, you're not sure of the content, you're not sure of the source, you're not sure of what they're putting in it. It's different. I mean, there are people that actually study these herbs. They study them, you know, they go to, they take courses, botany or whatever. They know what this is really used for. If you're fortunate enough to find yourself in that environment where the person that is involved is someone that is known to you, and you know for a fact that this is something that they are very, very...
But you could also wait on that. We'll get open the phone lines very shortly for you to pass your comments and what you feel about any of the stories. And the one also has to do with petrol smuggling persisting. 102 million liters consumed in May. We just had a conversation about the petroleum industry bill.
Yeah.
This could be some of the actions that
What was the figure again?
102 million liters consumed in May. But as regards to smuggling, 42 million liters
that was what
getting
caught my...
smuggled per day.
Wow.
Per day.
That is a lot. I wish Inyobong was still here. I wish he was still here.
Crazy.
But anyway, we move on to another story, which is quite it's gotten some mixed reactions about the leaking roof in the National Assembly building. Now, we remember that there was a provision for the renovation of the
Assembly complex.
Yes. And right here, the Senate is saying that the money was approved but wasn't released to them. Now, there was a comment I saw on social media that really had me rolling. It's like the National Assembly complex on its own importance. It is, I mean, I saw videos, had to scoop water from, so it wasn't even a small, it wasn't even a small thing. If it was a small, say small drops, you could say, okay, fine, this is something that we just caught, and by the next day get it fixed. But how do you allow such a large amount of body of water into the system, into the building? I meant to say it is quite it's quite worrisome, and it's a cause for major concern, really.
The questions then will suffice. Maybe I should say some, maybe not what I want answers for, but questions like, I mean, they were on recess for a very long time, and apparently it's been raining, meaning that maybe it was after resumption that was captured.
No, they were on recess. Maintenance, they're not the ones that do the maintenance by themselves.
The fact that they were not in session was why maybe it was not exactly public just yet. We're not sure, but I'm just saying, just trying to ask some sort of question. Then, if we have that situation whereby it was budgeted for, but it was not implemented, we don't know. I mean, this is some of the questions that will come.
Is it a matter of holding them to ransom? There's nothing to hold to ransom. It's something we all can see, you know, that has happened. But we welcome Dawood into the studio.
Good luck there.
I had to find my way through, you know, having to know all of these interroads and all of that. So I just
Abeokuta is developed.
All right, you're just catching us at our story that we're looking at now. The leaking roof, the Senate is now claiming that the 9 billion naira that was approved for renovation of the National Assembly building was not released. But the questions we are having right now is how long should maintenance be that you need 9 billion naira? First,
and how is it just to add?
Every month, every year, they should have been doing this. We don't need this huge amount of money for renovation. This 9 billion naira is even enough to, construct. It was not this year that the lawmaker said that they don't have adequate toilet facilities, you don't know all those stuff. But all this while, if they had made lawmaking a part-time job, we will not be talking of this. We need to just meet when there is need to make laws and all those stuff. So, we know Nigeria. Nigerians, as they have shouted, the executive will release the fund, and many people will smile to banks.
Okay, let's move on to another story. And this has to do with the one on the front page of the Punch. Endless borrowing, the experts worrying Konje Wiala Ahmed Tifa on Nigeria's debts. Well, FG has insisted that they will keep borrowing to build more infrastructure. But financial experts are worried that the debt profile keeps rising and the amount being used to service the debts is pretty huge.
And to add to that, we are not even seeing anything about repayment of debts in the first place.
Let me even give you a very practical example. Somebody called me and she's into a very huge debt. You know these online debt loan that they say they will tip you, that can take 100,000, they will spread it for. No, so she collected 100,000 naira from one lender, and then she went to another online lender to collect another 100,000 naira to repay this one. So at the end of the day, before she now calculated, she is to pay 500,000 naira. And going back, I'm also worried, even not being financial expert. I'm worried because China. I think they are holding friends. When you don't have money, you have to regulate your finances. The federal government is failing in that aspect. It still wants to continue maintaining all these bogus expenses. Now we don't have money. We want to borrow. What are we borrowing for? If they borrow for rail project, road project, we know that, okay, these are infrastructure facilities and that can also help us. But borrowing for something that will not have direct impact and then cannot even fund it. They are talking about tolling some road. Yes. Right. So all these things, federal government should reason. And the problem is this. When this government leaves, the successful government is one that will be, in fact, there is a state. Is it not Osun State? The man that is there now is one who cripple the activities because there is a mechanism. As the money is dropping in the bank, instantly, they will either take the whole money or they need money. They need to pay salary, they need to pay allowances, among others. But let's see that there are some things that we are spending money on that are now unnecessary. Before they were necessary, but now they are not necessary. So continue keeping 31 or 30 something ministers. It's no more necessary since elected different salary scheme, and now leave. We no more having that pressure. There is a pressure because if the government stop, for instance, in another way, if it stops borrowing, there are some aspects that will suffer.
Of the opinion that international bodies should just...
It's a business. You can't stop them from doing business. Forget those that are saying that are not the one borrow us $1 billion. They know that before we pay it, we are going to add something on it. That something on it is a kind of profit for them. So they will continue borrowing people. So there's not, the only thing is to talk sense to the federal government that comes. Let's sit down. What are you borrowing for? Why can't we, even at our own personal life, if I'm collecting 70,000 naira, and I now observe that, okay, if maybe I was living in an apartment that is maybe per annum is let's say 500,000 naira. Now I now get another job, 70,000. When I do the calculation, okay, the best thing for me is to reduce my. I will leave one apartment for 3-bedroom flats. And if I also have that financial opportunity, muscle, I'll build a house. So Nigeria should not live fake life. Federal government is teaching us to live a fake life. If you are borrowing money to live life all your time, it's a fake life.
Then there's also the question about the culpability or non-culpability of the National Assembly in this, in the sense that almost every amount that the federal government presents to the National Assembly for them to vet and pass for them to borrow, the National Assembly never turns down any one of them. And some have said this is pointed to the rubber stamp nature of this 9%.
Gbenga, we don't need to be told that. We don't need to be told that will happen. They are federal government boys. So whatever federal government wants to be done, that's just it. Unlike when Saraki was there, they had it very rough to get some things. Even the ministers, they had it very, very tough. But some of these ministers, they took bows and then they went away. So even it happens in many states, even in Ogun State too, it happens. I've never seen anything that Ogun State House of Assembly will turn down. That they are rubber stamping. In fact, there was one set of House of Assembly. I don't want to quote that 8 or 7. They speak face and say no. This budget is not saying in this country that House of Assembly will say, Mr. Governor, you're sorry. You've checked your budget appropriation bill, you have to go back and redo it. That kind of assembly we want. That will not rubber stamp everything. Because by rubber stamping everything, you are putting the lives of the people in danger. Because the governors will just go to the assembly, they will continue taking loans. Because they know they don't have problems. During that Daniel G15, G11, Ogun State, it was a crisis bomb. A little bit relief. Governor then could not just go to the assembly and say he wanted, and that was when the 100 billion bond came up. It is not that 100 billion naira bond was a misplaced one, but because the time it was wrong. The people believe that he wanted to use part of the money to finance the coming election then. So I think there is need for the National Assembly. Because when you say democracy, it is not there. Do we even care again? Now, look at what happened. Yes, we should commend former Governor Abeokuta also for that bill, University of Medicine. And yes, but the question is, did we agree that we need it? It's a good thing. You don't understand. But did Ogun State Central agree that we need it? In the scale of preference, is it the first thing that we need? These are issues. So,
all right, we have just about 14 more minutes to wrap this up, and so you can get to be part of the conversation right about now. The numbers to call are 0704 400 1067, 0817 444 1067, and 0817 555 1067.
All right, while we wait for the calls, we have a few WhatsApp messages from Kende Gabriel from Abeokuta. Enough of meeting upon meetings. We need proactive measures to tackle insecurity. I don't know why Gumi, who has seemed to be bandit spokesperson, is yet to be invited by DSS. This kind of move could help intelligence gathering. Nigerian government has been accused by Mr. Gumi and now the military. If we have to go by Gumi's submission, I don't think this current government will solve our security challenges. He goes on our current topic, the way our lawmakers demand for funds will make it difficult for ordinary citizens to believe the country is broke. Such a huge amount of money for maintenance of National Assembly, such amount that is even enough to build another one. We really need to reconsider and check our expenses, cut the cost of governance, and also stop unnecessary linkages.
Right, we have someone on the line.
Oh, wow, please. Yeah.
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Good morning.
My brother in the house.
Good morning.
My name is Paul Kunia from Abeokuta.
Right, okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it is now crystal clear that everything will keep close. Imagine if some of the statements were released by an Igbo man or by an Hausa man. What the government would have done. And they did to Melafia. They don't fail to many other people. they will invite them, detain them, just because of the simple statement. This guy has been they are not ready. We are just playing to the gallery. I know this kind of military we have. They are capable, they are professional, they've gone outside this country, greater countries, in Liberia, in Rwanda, in Syria, that I was even part of. So what are we talking about? They are capable, but the political will is not there. There is a seeming soft spot for the ideology of the parties and the criminals in this country, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling us. 0817-444-1067, 0817-555-1067. Here we have another caller. Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is Nicholas from Abeokuta.
Nicholas, good to have you.
Yeah, one of the reasons why most people, or some of us, love Splash is that it's obvious that these people only fear God, which is a great virtue for any form of journalism. Any form of journalism. If you were asking they appropriated the FCDA, and you were like, these are the sort of questions we should be asking. I was thinking, those questions are vital. How can the National Assembly that appropriated 9.2 billion naira to themselves or to any agency to roof, even if they were on research, it is not treason that the committee on behalf of assembly matter should say that the judiciary becomes the last hope of the common man. But if they cannot secure the roof of the most hallowed chambers of our country, how will they secure the currencies? On Shegumi, it's unfortunate. Nigeria, more than any country in Africa, has a lot of defense agencies. DECON, NSA, NIO, Defense Ministry, War College. I don't know why an Islamic scholar in a secular state is the go-between our government and the bandits. On the inspection with arms, every Nigerian who has lived in this country for over 4 decades, there was one ASP Iyang, the place of birth, Kirikiri prison. And the only offense the mother committed was fighting for her human rights. I mean, these are questions that we should be asking. Then on the issue of this Harvard drinks, it's unfortunate that Nigerian Professor actually is in the grave. I wish the new NAFDAC DG good luck. But Nigerians should be careful on their own. And Eclipse came to this country.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good
morning.
You see, all this outcry against women, I'm not part of it. So I don't know if the federal government can then. Nigerians are yelling for the way forward that we, pull out Nigeria from the party. And we have a people saying that bring that to Nigeria from
into this executive, to the presidency, not the legislature. Let me tell you something. If you and your boss, if they're not even they have power, and now someone will also have power, and we cannot do a face-off, that means I'm scared of one. Is it that I'm scared, or there's something behind it? Maybe we are party. Yes. There's nothing like, they are rubber stamp. There's no argument about it. Now, look at the Sayaki regime. There's always a face-off. When you are facing off, it's not that you're just fighting unnecessarily. When you are saying something on the interest of the people, $500 billion or $1 million that was borrowed, and he said they returned almost $150 million. He said the paper to the loan in China. I read it in news. He said that. Now, just coming back to the issue of grooming, when someone is seen as a mediator, as an agent, as a middleman in the chain of distribution, he is collecting money from the state government and paying bandits. Why can't he be arrested? That's one question. Why can't he be arrested? When you are also the one collecting money, you are also telling us that bandits are being arrested. What's the meaning of that? If an ordinary man can say that, what will have become a man? Ordinary process, you charge us for reasonable following. Talking about someone that is saying about a bandit, that is saying what they want, telling us that this is what they want. Government should negotiate, and they're also doing business. They are also a bandit. There's no argument about it. I don't think I respect Okili. He's a man of truth. He has been saying it. Why can't this man be arrested? If should be an Igbo man, truly, that said it, he would have been arrested. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much, Kennedy, for talking to us. Well, about the tribe and all of that.
Okay. Most of these people are complaining that the accumulation is getting too much. But I begin to ask, if you and I on the streets of Nigeria are complaining that these loans are getting too much, but our representatives in the National Assembly see nothing wrong with those cards. Anytime the executive wants to...
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, they will take it to the National Assembly for approval. Yes. And in matter of hours or maximum days, that loan request will be approved. But Nigerians continue to complain that this accumulation is getting too much. Just yesterday or thereabouts, one of our senators in the state was able to get a good project for Ogun State. What do we really want? These people will use this loan to execute this project, but we continue to complain about the accumulation of this loan. Something is missing to start this loan without necessarily giving more body to generations to come. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Abeokuta, for talking to us. I'm hoping this is our final caller. You have to keep it down to 30 seconds if you can. Hi, good morning.
I'll be short.
All right, let's go.
Why did the government make the mistake of putting Okoye? I don't know why they made that effort to put her in the same room with a Minister of Finance, which I don't know much of her pedigree. You may help me to know her pedigree. Adeokuta was the Commissioner of Finance in the state, and she went to the Abuja. Please help us with the pedigree of Minister of Finance. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nicholas, for calling. We have to go now because we are running out of time. Let's thank Dowd for coming this morning. And of course, to those who are listening to this, I understand that the feelers on the street is how this is growing every single day, talking about the program Panorama. And you played no small part in that happening to the thousands. I get to listen to these every morning from 8 o'clock till some minutes before 10. That's weekday studies. We appreciate you a great deal. Thank you. You've made the show to be what it has become.
Yes, thank you for listening. And thank you, Dawood, for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you for allowing me to see the side again.
All right, we have to wrap up now. Do not forget, Panorama makes a